In his 14 years as head coach of the West Fannin High School boys basketball team, Tom Foster led 7 squads to the state tournament. The 1963-64 team advanced to the semifinals of the Georgia Class AA tourney, the only team in school history to advance to that level. The 1963-64 Yellow Jacket boys team was a senior-dominated team with Ray Arp, Steve Fry, Tommy Bowling, and Jimmy Key as returning starters from the previous season. The only underclassman on the starting 5 was junior Donnie Arp. The first 2 players off the bench were juniors Robert Guthrie and Sammy Ledford. Other players were senior Norman Pope, junior B.J. Taylor, and sophomores David Key, Jerry Guthrie, Malcolm Holden, Johnny Korn, and Steve Cheatham. The first 10 games played before the new year saw the Jackets win 7 and lose 3. A season-opening loss to Loudon, Tennessee, was avenged 2 weeks later when the Yellow Jackets drubbed the Redskins 76-50 in a game played at West Fannin. A 1-point loss to Ringgold on December 6th would be the only Region 3AA North loss of the season. On December 17th, the Jackets scored a school record 126 points in a victory over Gilmer County. After the calendar moved from 1963 to 1964, the Fannin boys hit their stride and won 12 consecutive games. Highlights included a 66-61 victory over region rival Ringgold and a 66-59 win over Murray County at Chatsworth. West Fannin had played Murray every season since the 1955-56 season and had lost 8 consecutive games on the Indians' home court. On the night of January 14, 1964, however, Steve Fry poured in 35 points as the Yellow Jackets snapped the onerous streak. Fry's 35 points was an all-time single-game scoring record up to that point. 2 weeks later, the Yellow Jackets hosted Lumpkin County at the West Fannin Gym. Lumpkin came into the game boasting a 17-2 record and were led by guard Stan Worley, who was being recruited by a number of colleges. Coaches Whack Hyder of Georgia Tech and Garland Penholster of Oglethorpe were on hand that evening, ostensibly to watch Worley in action. Tommy Bowling stole the show, however, as he blistered the nets for 22 points, leading the team to a resounding 70-48 victory over Worley and his teammates from Dahlonega. Bowling's performance was the first step in a journey that led to a 4-year basketball scholarship to Georgia Tech. A 69-46 victory at North Whitfield on February 7th gave the Jackets a 7-1 record in Region 3AA North competition. That mark was the best in the sub-region and earned the team the number 1 seed in the overall Region 3AA tournament held in Dalton. The West Fannin boys went on to capture the second Region 3AA championship in school history with victories over Calhoun, 58-55 over West Rome in overtime in the semifinals, and Rockmart 62-60 in double overtime in the championship game. Tommy Bowling scored 2 of his 25 points on a driving layup against Rockmart to cinch the title. Yellow Jacket heroes were plentiful throughout the tournament. Bowling led the scoring parade with 15, 18, and 25 points in the 3 games. Ray Arp, a 6'3" post player, poured through 17 points in the West Rome victory. The Rockmart contest was a war of attrition, with Robert Guthrie and Sammy Ledford playing big roles off the bench, replacing starters, including Steve Fry, who had fouled out of the game. Ledford scored a vital 12 points in the victory. Bowling and Fry were named to the all-tournament team. The opening game of the state tournament saw West Fannin matched with Headland High School from South Atlanta. It was a revenge game of sorts since Headland had ousted the Yellow Jackets from the state tournament in a classic 63-60 battle in 1961. Headland went on to win the state championship that year. In the 1964 game, the Yellow Jackets found themselves on the short end of a 52-51 score at the end of three quarters. The fourth quarter, however, saw the relentless up-tempo game of the Jackets break through for 27 points, while Headland could post only 15 markers. The 78-67 victory vaulted the Yellow Jackets into the semifinals against Hart County. Bowling and Fry led the scoring parade against Headland with 25 and 29 points, while the Arp brothers, Ray and Donnie, chipped in 13 and 8. Floor leader Jimmy Key rounded out the scoring with 3 points. A cold shooting first half doomed the Yellow Jackets in the semifinal contest with Hart County, and despite a gallant second half comeback, West Fannin fell short by 2 points, 53-51. Bowling, Fry, and Donnie Arp led the Jackets in scoring with 15, 16, and 15 points. Tommy Bowling and Steve Fry were named to the All-Tournament team as the boys from Fannin County ended the season with a record of 25-7 and were ranked as the number 3 team in Georgia's Class AA division. Most sports writers and knowledgeable observers described the 1963-64 team as a run-and-gun aggregation. The offensive attack was certainly waged at a fast tempo, as the Yellow Jackets scored 2,225 points for an average of 70 points per game. The Jackets scored more than 90 points in 4 games and posted 88 points in a game against Class A powerhouse Cass. The scoring was led by Tommy Bowling, who averaged 18.5 points per game, and Steve Fry, who scored at a 17 points per game clip. In the pre-3-point shot era, many of Fry's baskets were long-range missiles from deep in the corner, easily three-pointers in today's game. Ray and Donnie Arp both averaged scoring in double figures. The floor leader of the ensemble was guard Jimmy Key, who generally directed traffic and was the primary trigger man on most of the team's fast break baskets. Tommy Bowling was awarded a scholarship to Georgia Tech and won a letter there in 1967. Steve Fry was initially a walk-on candidate at the University of Georgia and then received a scholarship to play basketball at LaGrange College. He won 3 varsity letters there. The 1963-64 West Fannin Yellow Jackets boys basketball team will be remembered as one of the best quintets in Fannin County and North Georgia, and certainly earned their place in the Fannin County Sports Hall of Fame.